Doing?
Hey, Coach. Doing well. Thank you. Thanks for joining us. Group, if you have a question for Coach Bateman, please use the raised hand function. And today's first question will come from Jacob Turner.
Hey Jay, you obviously played a lot of guys on Friday against Notre Dame on defense, except at the middle linebacker position where Jeremiah Gimel and Chaz play. What's the situation right now with depth at that position, and is it just kind of a situation where Chaz and Jeremiah are so crucial to what you guys do that you just can't afford to take them out?
Yeah. So we've had this discussion with Kadri Jackson and Eugene Asante, who are their backups, who I think are really good players. I have a hard time taking those two off the field, and we talk about it every week. And I guess the way you phrased it is probably right. With that, we feel like those two are really important to us, and so we're going to let them play a lot.
Okay. Quick follow-up question too, Jay. Desmond Evans got most of his snaps on Friday kind of early and didn't play too much after that. I think he ended up with like 11 snaps or something like that. What do you like about where he's at right now, and what are some things that you're looking for him to kind of improve on moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, I like a lot of things about where he's at. I think he started the game, he played really well. There were some schematical things that he didn't do well that we kind of got fixed. And then just the way the game was flowing, I feel like Notre Dame kind of adjusted a little bit. We probably should have put him back in a little bit more at the end, to be honest with you. But I think early on he did a really good job of helping us get edges set. And I think that's, he's going to be a tremendous player.
Thanks, Jay.
Yep.
Okay, let's go over to Ross Martin, please.
Hey, Jay, what went into the decision to start Tony Grimes, I guess over Patrice Renee? What happened there? Can you explain that?
We kind of felt against Wake Forest. He was really, it was very obvious early on that Tony's really talented, right? So it was a matter of, we're going to bring him along to a point where we feel like he's ready to go. And it might be this year, it might be next year. And then after the Wake Forest game, we just felt like it was time for him to go play. And I thought he played really well.
Yeah. And can you elaborate?
I've kind of always looked at it like this, Ross. Like, I try really hard. When we make a decision to change who's playing more than somebody else, because Patrice played also. I try to do it based on when I think the person who's behind is playing better, and we just felt like Tony was playing better.
Yeah, and to elaborate on that, what did you see from Tony on tape that he did well, or maybe some areas that you definitely think he needs to improve on? You evaluate his performance against Notre Dame.
I thought he did really well. I think they went after him a little bit in the one drive. You got the pass interference call, which I think is, like every defense coordinator, a little questionable. But I thought he did a really, really good job. He's really smart. Football makes sense to him, and I'm really glad he's here.
And in general, can you kind of evaluate how you think your defense performed against Notre Dame? Any broad kind of takeaways from the tape review?
I think we communicated better. I thought we defended the run better. I thought we were more consistent in our run fundamentals. And I thought we kind of settled down in the second half. I think we can play a lot better.
Thanks.
Okay, let's move over to Greg Barnes.
Good morning, Jay. You've highlighted before that when this team executes the way it needs to defensively, it can be really good. And that some of the games where it struggled just because of communication lapses and some other things. What's the key in kind of building that consistency so you have more performances like you did on Friday?
I think part of it is consistency in the secondary. We've had to move some guys around, and that probably has affected a little bit. And then I got to do a better job preparing them. A lot of it comes down to me and getting them ready to go. But I feel like we did take a step forward in the communication. I told him when yesterday when we first started watching together, I said, this was a very clean game for us, as far as there wasn't a bunch of snaps where like, well, I thought it was this or I thought it was that. Like we were all on the same page, and I think that when we do that, we have a chance to win.
And Max said he thought this may have been Chaz's best game at linebacker. Can you expand on that and let us know?
Yeah, so I think what you saw Saturday was Chaz playing. playing linebacker like he's going to have to play at the next level, right? I thought he did a really good job taking on blocks, holding the point, not trying to run around things and just make every play. Because sometimes Chaz gets frustrated and tries to go make every play, and I understand that. That's what you want out of a player. But I thought he did a really good job of kind of doing his job at times. Fundamentally, I thought he played like a linebacker fundamentally really well. And I agree with Coach Brown. I mean, I think he played really well.
And how frustrating or difficult is it as a defensive coordinator to go back and look at film of Ian Book doing some of those circus acts?
I mean, Ian Book's 29-3. He's a really good player. And, our kids were absolutely prepared for how good a player he was. We did a lot of things schematically to try to limit him. Some were more successful than others. But, he gives them a chance to win every single game. He's a really good player. I'm glad he's a fifth-year senior.
Thanks, Jay.
Yep.
All right, back over to Ross Martin.
One last one for you here, Jay. You mentioned kind of some of the schematic things that you did differently. I remember last week when Art asked you for the secrets to getting Notre Dame off the field. Were there some things you can tell us that you did differently or maybe switched up that gave Notre Dame a different look that you hadn't showed this year?
So, I mean, we kind of went in the game with trying to keep him in the pocket more. I mean, like our kind of thought was, we don't, obviously some snaps were better than others, but I felt like it was going to be really important that whether it was 3 guys rushing or 4 guys rushing, that we try to keep him in the pocket and play coverage. Because I really felt like the people that pressured him during the year got exposed, because when you pressure him and then he gets out, now there's less people to cover, it makes it's math, So I thought that was, schematically the biggest thing we did. They did a good job. They changed their protections on us from what they had done. And, kind of, trying to, like a lot of people are trying to block Chaz. And I think once we kind of got that figured out, it helped us. But the main thing we did was just try to contain Ian Book in the pocket. And we did scramble, have players that could go tackle him. We tried to use Gimmel and Surratt and some of those guys to go tackle him when he did pop the pocket,
Was there a noticeable difference in the physicality and just the maturity of Notre Dame's offensive line compared to some of the teams you played so far this year?
I think they're a really good offensive line. I think their tight ends are really good players. I think they're really good. The number 2 team in the country.
All right, thanks.
Well, Coach Bateman, that's all we have for you today. Thanks for your time.
No problem. Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Mark.
All right, guys. Thanks for joining us. We'll catch up with you tomorrow, I'm sure.